And 5, 4, 3.
Oh, 7-star citizens, and welcome back to Answer the Call, your weekly Star Citizen podcast and call-in show, where we talk about all the things that have happened in Star Citizen the last week. We talk about a couple of topics that we might think are interesting, and we take calls from you guys, so we can hear all about what you think about the game. And in particular, this week, this stuff here. I am Croncy, that is SaltEMike. How you doing this week, Mike?
Doing great. That was an awesome intro, actually. You finally
I'm good at them.
I do like a 7-hour-long intro explaining what Answer the Call is. You did it in like 10 seconds. It was perfect. Yeah, really excited. So yeah, we're gonna talk about Supply or Die. Like, are you enjoying it? Right, and that kind of thing. What do you feel about it? There is a lot of I'm very angry, I'm very happy, I'm somewhere in the middle, and a lot of people are talking about it, and it's kind of all over the place. And how much time have you had in it? I guess we'll start with that, because usually
so I've had like a combined.
Screws you over.
They do. They like to. I mean, it's because they release it like at the end of the week, and it's like
yeah.
All of my stuff that I can do is at the start of the week. So
Friday releases.
Yes,
what are we doing?
I mean, it makes sense because most people can play on the weekend. I can't play until like the end of Sunday.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've had like 5.5 hours with it, but I also played it a lot in the PTU as well.
You have more time than I have.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't get to play much. So all right, so you might be able to have a little bit more insight, and you did it
Fair enough.
more intentionally, I understand, than CIG did it. So you did mining and a little bit of salvage this morning, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Nice.
So I have not turned in any missions except for one where a party member had shared it with me and was like, free turn in. And that was just one mission. So we did some mining yesterday. So all of that is still sitting in the refinery because being the efficient miner that I am, I'm not gonna.
No, you didn't do the fast
anything
version
other than Dynex.
Always
Dynex solventation. And then a little bit of salvage today, just in a vulture, just around the rings of Terminus, which just have just so many panels everywhere, very easy to find. And so what I've figured out so far, obviously I have no idea if the mission works yet, but everything I've been hearing from people is they have been able to turn it in and whatnot. But,
works good.
It looks good in that aspect. First off, this is our first time ever having a mining mission.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we actually, we can refine ice, we can refine tin, corundum, copper, and actually turn that in. So very, very happy about that. Hopefully we get some regular mining missions going forward. I don't know. It was good to have that option to complete this mission, as everything that I'm hearing and seeing from people is they're all doing one specific way to finish this mission, which is a bit boring, a bit lame. But
CIG screwed up.
Is also probably going to be up for debate. I think so, but at the same time, so what I'm referencing here is so you can basically do I think it's corundum and copper trip from like Magnus to Pyro.
Correct.
Jump point.
You mind if I jump in? Because that's basically what I did. I only got about 3 hours with it, and not fishing for birthday. My birthday is past, but it's my 40th, and my family came to visit, and I was about to finish the event, and so I'm at 2,100 points. I'm not done, but Hannah, or Xperia for people who know her, is big time solo pirate. Popped in, dropped her mantis in between Magnus and Pyro, and was like, I got a ship. Does anyone want to move the cargo for me? And I said, yeah, we'll move it, and I'll share the mission with you. And then by the time we got there, she caught 5 more ships or something like that. And then she was like, all right, I need a break. I'm turning off my snare. Comes back, turns it back on. 5 minutes. I just caught 3 more, within a minute, catching ship. People are doing this nonstop. Reason being is the Magnus to Pyro or the Magnus to anywhere cargo hauling runs are meant for what ship? The Hull C.
I was gonna say surely.
Yes. So there, for people who don't know, Star Citizen does have either a regional or a global economy. I can't remember, or I actually just don't know. It's either regional or global. And so if you're buying corundum and you're buying copper at that location, it might take about 10 minutes and it'll give a small-ish amount back for its total amount. So I think it holds 20,000 SCU. That would have been gone very quickly at the launch of the game in that region or globally, however it's working.
Yeah.
But because it's meant to be a Hull C trade, which carries 4,000 SCU, the amount that comes back or that is refreshed each tick is a lot more than you would see at like an outpost. So, for example, like I fought over people for RMC selling at an outpost, and it was like, I'd be able to sell 10 RMC every 10 minutes. It was horrible. That's not happening to people. So people are conga lining at Magnus to just buy this and finish the mission instantly. So that is 100% an oversight from CIG, because what's happening is no one's doing Detatrine, no one's salvaging, no one's mining. They're all doing it this way. Not everybody, obviously, but if you don't care and you just want to get it done and you got the FOMO and you want to get the rewards, that's how people are doing it. I got my 2,100 points by hand pirating people and us just moving the boxes to Pyro Station.
Which is cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
They basically
but it sort of shows
by accident.
Yep. Yeah.
Right?
But it shows like maybe just how like unbalanced that like way is. But the fact that even with that happening, people are still in droves doing that. And like in a lot of cases, they're not even bothering to check if like piracy is going to be an issue, right? They're just hamming it. So I think that is the problem. It is just a balancing issue, not necessarily one thing that I had to clarify in stream today is like, I do want PvE players to be able to participate in this event. I think it's 100%. Quite fun. And that is one way to do it, is just, this like casual transport. But because of how powerful it is, how much money you make, how easy it is as well, that's like a big important part of it. It's become, I think, too overbearing on the event overall. I will also say my initial opinions about it. I think there are a lot more people mining and salvaging than I had previously thought. But there is for sure practically no one doing Detatrine. Like if you're going to do cargo, you might as well do the Magnus run.
Exactly. Detatrine is cargo, but you have to buy it. And you're buying, and the payouts are like the same. So for the large, medium, small, they're the same. So you're taking so much more risk. Now there's something. Oh no, I did bring it up. I kind of brought it up. Let me actually bring it up on screen because it is, it's relevant. I don't typically like doing this. This was actually frowned upon a long, long time ago by somebody who actually works at the company now. They used to share the subscriber like updates on Reddit, and one of them is Jump Point, right? And Jump Point came out this week. And at the very, very bottom of Jump Point, I'm scrolling to it now, there's usually an advertisement for like subscriber flare or something like that, right?
Yeah.
This is what is at the bottom. And I'm putting a feeler out there for everybody because I don't know the answer to this one. This says, beware, all vehicles and their content are liable for, here, I'll zoom in. I see you leaning forward. All vehicles are liable for scanning upon entering UEE-controlled space. Illegal substances must not be present within ships or held by their crews when exiting a jump point. Please inform your local trade and development division representative or any advocacy agent if you believe your vehicle contains illegal goods. As a reminder, for all travelers from the Pyro system, Detatrine is a controlled substance and not permitted for unauthorized import into the Stanton system. Where does this thing sell? It sells somewhere in Stanton then. And it might sell for a lot more than what this mission is paying, potentially, in order for this to make sense. So I'm just curious what's going on here.
Possibly in the future as well, yeah. Like
maybe not right now. Maybe after the event, they'll keep the Detatrine depots in, and that's your cargo haul from Pyro to Stanton. Potentially.
That'd be very cool.
Yeah.
There's certainly reasons you can put into the game right now that someone would want it. First off, like you can imagine backdoor deals in Hurston where they don't really care what the CDF says or the UAE. Ninetales at Grimhex probably would require some of it because it's medicinal, and then also not necessarily require it because it's medicinal. Which is like the entire sort of lore around Detatrine. Yeah, I hope that's a thing. That'd be cool. give us more reason to continue doing it, even maybe turning it into like a permanently like rotating type jump town thing.
Yeah.
Because like right now it's just every depot, right? Which there's five or six of.
There's too many depots. Like,
Yeah,
I've gone back and
it's too
forth
split.
with this. It's just a little bit too split. Like, I think the argument was, you know, if a lot of people are at one depot, we had talked about this before, and Phil was here and everything. Of like, if there's a lot of people at these areas, it's not going to be a good experience for anybody, right?
Yeah, if there's too many.
Like theoretically, if there's too many, it's just not going to be good. So the idea here is like spreading people out. The problem with that is that all their design choices led to significantly less people doing that thing because there were better options. The risk versus the reward wasn't worth it, so on and so forth. And I think in general, the Star Citizen community is less inclined to do the risky thing. Even Jumptown, during the height of the Jumptown V2, right? The not the original one, was you know, not frequented by the entire server. Like very rarely did you have like a 50 on 50 fight. It was usually 10 or so people at the Jumptown conga lining and a few people jumping in to like screw around with them or whatever, right? It's they're less inclined to do that stuff. So the need to spread us out into 6 is probably not it. When if you did it in 2, there might be like 40-ish people participating in that aspect of it, especially when you have all these other options, right? So
there's also like last time we had Jumptown, it was 100-person servers. We have 600-person servers now. So it was like you need to see what people are going to do in that regard.
So I just hope it's like a lesson that is learned.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Right. They can close a few depots. Oh, these depots just shut down. I don't know what happened.
Yeah,
and
or just have them do other things. Like there's no reason I imagine you couldn't do missions at these locations.
Sure.
Right? That'd be fun. You know, liberate some SCU of cargo as a PvE mission type thing.
Different commodities, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
It could be anything. So yeah, they could obviously be repurposed. There's no need to waste the locations, of course. Yeah, I agree with you there.
Yep.
But yeah, I just want to I had to say I recorded a weekend review right before this, and the thing that I had to remind myself is this event perfect? There is a lot of feedback to give on like, nope, this wasn't good. Nope, that wasn't good. But I had fun.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
And I can do it in any way I want. If I want to RP and be a salvage org and do it that way, or a mining org, I could do it that way. Is it the most efficient way to do it? No. What I believe I am aware of, and let me know if I'm wrong on this, guys. After I complete the points, my 2,800 points, I could keep going, right? So I don't have to worry about the point system and finishing that anymore. I could just go for the money and do it in any way that I choose. So if I want to go the RMC and CM route, I can. If I want to go the mining, tin, and ice route, I can. If I want to do a combination of them, you can, right? There's so many options. So I was, before the podcast, was building what I thought was going to be I am building it as a battle reclaimer. I'm going to go to Hurston. I'm going to get attritions. I'm going to put it on there. And I'm going to do either Vaughn missions or bounty missions. And we're going to take down the ships. We're going to loot their cargo, which has corundum and copper on them typically. Salvage them for RMC, and then blow them up for the construction materials. And I'm going to do 2 missions at a time, kind of thing, and just have some fun with it. Yeah, at 100%. I see it in chat. Looks like they had a bit of an oversight. They're not perfect people, and nobody is, and they screwed up again. But they screwed up in a way that is really fun for some pirates. It does. In an alpha where the game is broken as hell, there is a simplistic way to complete these missions for people. And I had a good time. And we play video games for fun. And sometimes, you know, with the way Star Citizen has been over the years, you got to remind yourself, like, hey, it's okay. You had fun. You're allowed to, you know. And I had a good time. And I will continue to have a good time with it. And I look forward to actually having time to play it in a couple days, you know.
Yeah, my 2 big positives about this event is one, I haven't seen so many people online post 4.0, pretty much. Like my friends list has been very, very active. Servers have been very full, and we've been lucky that the servers have been okay-ish. I've had elevators work. I've heard everyone for the most part. Well, not everyone, obviously, but I've heard a bunch of people from my community
They're
having
showing
practically
up.
no issues bug wise,
Yeah.
and being able to do the event. So awesome. And then the other thing is it's getting people. It like I said, salvage and mining does sound like people are doing for this event more than I had originally thought, which is awesome. Is mostly due to the fact that it's practically like 4 times more money value to do those activities during this event, which is cool. That's still good. Like I want those sort of like timed like extra money making events to exist. So hopefully everyone's getting in some good reps with those mechanics, as they've been a little bit left behind lately. I feel like even in Pyro, like people weren't really mining that much until this event happened, with the exception of just like finding out what it looked like in Pyro.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like outside what we talked about last week, just scanning for rocks and for this event, I have not mined in Pyro very much at all. So it's not been the best experience in the world. But I think the event is probably the best of the events that they've done Overdrive, like from Overdrive till now. It's I feel like that they've learned a lot, and the fact that you're able to do it in the way that you want for the most part is good.
Yep.
So yeah. Outside that, I don't really have anything else to add, so we'll kind of save it for callers and their feelings on it. Roadmap update?
Oh, I guess. Well,
or some
other supply or die stuff. So the skins got revealed for like other than UEC. Like here's like some other prizes that you get for completing each different level. These skins look awesome. I saw one in game today, the Vulture. I love them. I don't know if I'll ever use them, but I just like the look of them. I love that they exist. But more importantly, that little diorama in the middle. Everyone I've asked seems to agree. A very cool way to reward people for events.
That's super
as a special thing. Exactly. You get to put it in your house, although in this case it's just going to be a hanger decoration. And, when you have a friend come in and they go like, why the hell do you have like random orange boxes with green crosses? You get to do the whole, there was this event back in 2025, the blah, blah, blah. So,
exactly.
I think the prizes were a knockout of the park. Yeah, it was good.
Exactly. So it's very simple. Now, the video that we're watching here, the comment section is insane. Like they got cooked.
Yeah.
Because of the comment, like this is what this is a question I definitely want to pose. Is FOMO events. People are not into this at all.
This goes for like a month.
Yeah. But it's an alpha and all, like the rewards that they chose here are kind of the limit, I think, to what they maybe should be doing. But then you get people complaining that the rewards aren't that good, like they're not useful enough, right? Like they're very cool skins. The diorama is awesome. You and I are on the same page. The shotgun, it's like my least favorite shotgun. I hate it so much. But I think the rewards are good for an alpha that is very broken with the timed event. The Ardor repeaters are amazing, but they are a situation where people who don't get to have those are going to feel really left out.
Yeah, because they're at an actual like game disadvantage.
Exactly. Well, sort of, right? They're missing something that's good. And I think the problem with it is, or not the problem, but what maybe should happen in the future is kind of what's happening right now is Fight for Pyro is still up. Right?
Yeah.
And you're kind of able to go through it, but MMOs are these kind of like that's what they are. Like the I was here thing. So it's this balance of what to do from them. It's really a challenge because the game is in a really bad place. So it's one of these things where like do you want players to feel like they're missing out because they literally can't, like there's somebody in the chat that just still hasn't been able to log in.
Yeah.
It's like he's not participating not because he doesn't want to, it's because he can't. So there's issues here that are beyond us, but they are few and far between now, and it's like do they have to stop everybody for a few people? It's like
especially when the reward is like in this case is purely cosmetic.
Yeah, purely cosmetic. It's
right?
essentially stupid. The art, like I said, the Ardor one, if they do more of those, I can understand people's arguments more. But I'm not quite understanding it now because you're getting a memento for I was here. And then the other aspect of it is, what does CIG need right now? They need people in the game so they can get the data they need to literally make the experience not crap, not bad. And ever since Overdrive, the only thing that has driven player engagement is this stuff. Nothing else. So do it. Keep doing it.
Yep.
Keep doing it until it stops working. And that's it. That's my thoughts on it. But yeah.
My last thing I'll say is
doing
that,
this.
yeah. The last thing I'll say on it is that this definitely also speaks more towards what we can probably expect for the rest of the year in terms of them talking about more narrative missions and more narrative content. Expect missions like Supply or Die and expect rewards like this, I imagine. Probably like another 2 or 3 as we go through. And some of it was in the roadmap roundup.
Yep. And just before we move to that real quick, Frontier fighters are not gone. We are supplying to continue the fight to them, so just keep that in mind. This story has not ended. Their storytelling makes it feel like it has. Like, we pushed the Frontier fighters back into these little tiny caves, and there's like 3 of them. Apparently not, because they're supplying to take the fight to them is what they're saying. So we don't know where they're hiding. We don't know what they're going to be flying. All I got to say is, if it's another fucking Idris event, I'm going to lose my mind. Just please no Idris. Maybe Polaris.
600 people with an Idris, though? That's kind of cool.
It might be. Or
terrible.
Or it's probably
Polaris
would
be interesting.
Yeah.
Just like a smaller Idris event where it's only really designed for, 10 people type thing.
Exactly. Like, please, just no Idris, because the fight for Pyro or Supplier or whatever it was, save Stanton with the Idris was the most horrible experience of all time. And no, please no, please no. But yeah, you want to move into the roadmap?
Yeah, let's do it. So the other big news, it is the first roadmap we have had of the year. Notably also the first one post 4.0. So it was like last year or the year before they started changing how they did roadmaps to, firstly, they were like, we're only going to tell you what's coming in like the next major patch. We're not going to do, 6 patches forward. And then last year, they also said with like this thing that they've got at the top about the 1.0 column. Towards the end of last year, they said that they were going to make a 1.0 column that is just all the features that are like, this is going to be out by 1.0. It does not mean it is coming with the 1.0 patch.
Yeah.
Which is an important distinction.
I call the 1.0 column a shopping list. You're going to the store. I want all these things to make dinner for the week. And you will eventually cross those things off. And them crossing it off just means, moving it to the patch that they're coming in. And that's all it is. It's a shopping list. And sometimes the store doesn't have milk or eggs.
Yeah, which very important for this week, as it turns out our previous shopping list that had already been pushed out of 4.0 all got moved to the 1.0 column.
Oh yeah, we could go right down to that right away because it's actually hilarious. If you scroll down this list, control surfaces, quantum boost, item misfire and wear, fire hazard, charge and drain, life support, engineering gameplay, solar flare. There's only 2 things here, or 3 things, that were not part of CitizenCon 2023. Everything listed was at CitizenCon 2023 on that, which is really funny. These 3 were, we saw the vehicle radar scanning rework, FPS radar scanning. Well, FPS radar and scanning was CitizenCon 2023.
We did say,
Yep. But the vehicle one, not so much. And then hangar upgrades is probably the most interesting one. I actually saw somebody complaining in my chat before, in my intro screen. We need more storage at our stations. This guy is sitting at the terminal, trying to take 20,000 SU of everything. This clown is trying to steal all the stuff and hoard it in his hangar, clearly. But if anybody doesn't know, no matter what hangar you have a limit of 1,000 SU that you can have inside of it.
At the moment, yeah.
In the invisible magic part of your hangar, you can only bring up certain amounts. And their plans, and they've told us about this, is customization, layouts, and maybe you can upgrade the amount of storage you have and stuff. So that's there as well. But yeah, the 1.0 section is pretty funny. Radiation, another 2023 thing. Weapon overheat is probably with the Volt weapons, somewhat, although it being in the 1.0 column means it's something else. And then this is funny, just completely taken out of 4.0.1, the repair missions, and just put on the 1.0 column. So these are going to be gone for a little while. And kind of same thing with the progress tracker, right?
Pretty much. I think the important thing to note here, maybe, and obviously we'll see as we get more roadmaps, which traditionally were every 2 weeks. That may change.
Probably should.
Is I imagine there will be less removal of features now, right? Like what they would do last year before would be, you know, if there was a feature that like didn't look like it was going to be in the next patch, they would just say like, we're going to tentatively remove this and re-add it at a later date. Now I just imagine all of that stuff will just be moved towards the 1.0.
Yeah.
That was the funny thing. I was wrong with a bet I made with someone. It wasn't Mike though, so I don't have to have a terrible character. I'd thought we would get at least one thing from the original 4.0 into 4.1 tracker, and no, it's all been removed. Now there has been some stuff added, and it is on brand with what they've been saying the last month or two.
You're talking about 4.1, right?
Yeah, sorry, 4.1.
Okay,
which is a bunch of narrative stuff. So a bunch of narrative stuff.
All redacted stuff.
Yeah, which good, I imagine, because then we get to experience it. We'll probably experience it PTU, so it'll still be like a little early, but cool. So this leads towards 2 things. One, it probably has to do with the narrative we're doing right now, with 100%. Frontier Fighters and everything.
Yeah.
I have a prediction. So these are the 3 like redacted sections: Mission Giver, their location, and sandbox activity. I reckon this is the Valacar.
A mission giver is a Valacar, like he's going to talk to you like this is Oblivion or something?
Well, this is like the sandbox activity is the Valacar.
Oh, yes. That's
the mission give you.
Yeah.
The mission giver is like, I need pearls or something.
Yeah, it could be. Like, that doesn't seem like a spicy take at all either, right? Because if you really sit there and think, what other the only sandbox activities we really have are mining, salvage, crafting.
Yep.
Exploration.
And even then, look at the description of the sandbox activity. Blending on-foot exploration with aerial support.
Yeah, like it's the Valacar, right? And then you bring up a really good point, because we're not getting crafting in 4.1.
No, of course not.
Of course not. So why would we fight the Valacar? No reason.
Hand-in materials? I don't know.
Yeah, well, exactly. What do we do now, right? You go, you do a mission, you make money. You go, you mine, you make money. You go, you salvage, you make money. It's so boring, right? It is the scar. What would you call it? Like the negative part of the game for me. It's like it's the thing that like mining is actually fun, salvaging is actually fun, but it's like I'm missing this huge piece of the puzzle to put it all together. This is going to experience that the same way. The Valacar is going to be just as boring if there's nothing to do with it. So if they tie a mission giver with turn-ins and because look at the mission that we have now. You have the point system.
Yep.
And you get something for it. If you turn in pearls and you're not getting money, you get something. Then that's awesome. Or different. At least different is good.
Yeah.
Right? It may not be like perfect, but it's good. So if that, I didn't think of that at all. That's interesting.
The other possibility, so Frontier, like you said, Frontier Fighters still exist as a faction.
Can we call them who they really are?
The Frontier Slicers.
Yeah.
Or the Slicer Fighters. Let's call them
Slicer Fighters. There you go.
The Slicer Fighters still exist. We did not like eradicate them or anything. We kind of just like stopped their current attack was like sort of the law, right?
Yeah.
And I noticed during the ISC actually, and I don't know if it had been shown anywhere else, that they named the leader of the Frontier Fighters, I believe. So
Yep.
this could also be, hey, Frontier
After
Fighters are now a faction in game, and you can do missions for them, right?
this is the leader.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's named after her. Yeah.
She is a terrorist.
Wow.
This is
So true.
The face of a terrorist.
Yep. But yeah, so that could be a thing as well. The idea as well in the descriptions, they say, it's going to be a new hub for the mission giver as well.
Yep.
Like all the mission givers we have right now are in hubs. So this also sounds like it could be at one of the new locations. Which brings me to my next point, which is finally, after years, we are seeing some amazing assets being used for Star Citizen, which are the ones from oh my god, I can't even remember what it's called now.
Theaters of War.
Theaters of War. Thank you. It's been so long, it's completely erased from my brain.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it basically looks like Security Post Korea here.
That does, but the bottom part does not. The little big radar tower that they have on the ground looks pretty cool. If I have no idea, I never played. I know that there was people that played like
I wasn't able to
and stuff of it.
I was in Evo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was in Evo, but they would do they would never just have it out there. They would do play tests, and they would do them on Saturdays. And in the casino industry, nobody gets off Saturdays. You can have a 3-day-a-week schedule. You could work Monday, Tuesday, but you're working Saturday. Nobody has off Saturdays. And they would do these on Saturdays, and it was just never an opportunity for it. So I never, ever played them. So everyone was like, yeah, these are Hathor. That's Theaters of War. People are speculating that Theaters of War is coming because of this.
Oh, no.
It's the exact opposite, dude. They're dusting this shit off because it's a wasted asset. Now they're making use of it. It's so funny.
So, yeah. I am really curious to know the size. Hathor just looks like SPK, which is still cool. SPK is a cool location, and we need a little bit more of that just in the verse in general, I think. Just more locations like that to do things. And then the actual big radar dish, I'm really curious how large it is, because it feels like if I was a dev, and I am very much not, but if I was a dev and I was making a big FPS map, it would be pretty detailed. Like that big radar dish location would be pretty detailed, meaning you'd probably have a lot of avenues for different types of content there. Hopefully, possibly at the sort of scale of like a distribution center.
Well, check this out. I don't know what people are thinking this is, because there's all sorts of weird hints on it. The bots in Discord didn't pick this one up. The sneak peek, at least not up to last night, is this was the sneak peek. So if you look at the right side, that's a stone wall. The left side isn't. And then you have this open glass at the bottom, which looks like it's on just like a test level, but it also looks like it could be looking down on the light side of a planet. So this
I was going to say, this looks like it possibly is in orbit.
Yeah. So this can be
interesting.
You also have PC 101 in chat saying Area 18 contested zone area, or the underground stuff that was talked about at CitizenCon 2024, the instanced content. Remember?
I feel like this wouldn't be that far along. Surely.
Same, but it does kind of look like sewers on the right side. So it's hard to tell.
Yeah, there's a lot of mapping and stuff.
Yeah.
Either way, it looks cool. It looks like it was designed for FPS gameplay for sure.
For sure. Yeah. So, boxes for cover and all that stuff.
Yeah, I didn't see that one. That's interesting.
Yeah. So, a lot of people probably missed this one. So it's there, but it could go a bunch of different directions. This could be Hathor or whatever. Lore-wise in Hathor, do you know the lore of these guys?
I do not
read that stuff. So they were like a mining company in Stanton. So what's cool is if this is like the B story that they're going to tell, it's going to be told in Stanton, right? All the stuff's been going on in Pyro. Not everyone likes Pyro. So coming back to Stanton and giving it some love is always a good thing. But they didn't give a shit. It was just mine, whatever. And they also didn't care what their employees did on the side. And a lot of them got involved in illicit activity. So we'll have to see what happens story-wise on that front.
The slices are working with Hathor. He's figured it out, chat.
Nexus, not Stanton. They were in this station is in Stanton. It might be a company that is
like based in
Nexus. But yeah, we're talking about like what they do in Stanton or whatever, because obviously we are not getting Nexus, so it doesn't matter. But for the lore that matters, we might just having some unlawful stuff again, which is like, I don't know how I feel about. It's always criminal stuff. It's always criminals. It's never just chill, happy people. So I don't know. I don't know.
Well, we need conflict, not just like, hey guys, there's been no fighting ever anywhere. Let's go.
Not always though. Like, don't you like a Constantine Hurston or somebody who works for ArcCorp or somebody who works for Crusader, like not necessarily bounty hunting for Crusader, but just getting them material to make their stuff and gaining a reputation with them, but having a storyline related to that would be.
But that's what I'm saying. That's not a particularly interesting storyline, I feel like, to a lot of people.
Yes.
Like as a general mission thing of like, hey, I associate with Crusader and I give them stuff. Yeah, because like storyline, in a story, regardless, you need some type of conflict. Yeah. But you could make it, the conflict is, Crusader and Drake are having a spat and they're trying to get more materials to like release a new ship or something.
Yeah. I mean more like voice lines.
Yes.
That's it. Just voice lines. Like make the world feel alive because it feels dead.
Yeah. To go back to the mission giver real quick as well. So, because you mentioned voice lines. Well, our mission givers have voice lines. They are this more entrenched story character usually.
Yeah.
When was the last mission giver introduced? We have Techia. We have
Tisha Pacheco.
Old mate that she was the last one.
I believe so.
Yeah, that's ages ago. That's so long ago.
Yeah.
So is this to be assumed then that they're bringing this back more, I guess? Like, do you think we'll see a lot more of these sooner rather than later?
I don't know. I mean, my whole feeling is the ones that exist in the game currently are incredibly interesting.
Yeah.
Like they're just intriguing characters. Tisha Pacheco, super intriguing. Clovis Darneely, extremely intriguing. Wallace Klim, creepy.
Yeah.
Right? Rudo, super cool. And like they haven't done
They're underutilized.
Incredibly underutilized. Yeah. So for me, them making a new one is kind of weird when you have these amazing assets that I would love to see them use. So we'll see. My guess is this one's Jared.
You reckon?
Yeah, I mean, he said he was doing, he had to shave to get his face scanned. This is Jared.
Possibly, because we know that his voice has already been put in for random civilians.
Yeah.
In Pyro.
Yep. But his face hasn't. I think it's Jared. That's my hot take.
That'd be kind of cool.
I think it would be great.
Do like the
and
theories.
I think he deserves it.
Yeah, I think anyone that's been at the company that long and has done as much for the community for that long,
He should be immortalized in the game, 100%.
Yeah, I do like the theories as well that it was Jax McCleary, because I was thinking as well today. Well, first off, we still have an open-ended story that like all of the Whitley's guides are like a little bit of a meme, but they started to get like kind of like serious and well thought out in the last like few years that they did them.
Mm-hmm.
And then they did the whole thing last year. Instead of doing a Jax McCleary video, they did the interview with the voice actor, and I was like, well, would they really just do an interview? Would they not be maybe doing some other stuff at the same time to have him in and around the studio? Like possibly doing voice lines for an upcoming mission or something like that. So I think it holds some water.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know. I keep looking back to the old ones because I just remember back in the old day, probably before you even started playing Star Citizen, I would just go and be like, are they working today? Have they changed every patch? Like all this stuff, because I was so intrigued by them. We have a mission giver that was put in and taken out because Nick's left.
Tessa Bannister, right? You guys.
Well, no, Tessa Bannister was one. That's a 2.0 thing. Yeah. Maybe this is Tessa too. You can speculate on that. That's coming back. Or Recco Battaglia. She had a peg metal leg and would send you out to go get mining materials. And she was one of my favorites. It was pretty cool. She had a bit of an attitude. She would always turn around. She was never looking at you, and when you'd walk up to her, she would turn around, but she was so broken. Like her eyes would freak out and her arms would twist and all that stuff when she would turn around. So she was pretty infamous for just being incredibly bugged. But it was a good time. And yeah, I don't know. I want those things to be brought back and get some love. But we have a bit more roadmap stuff.
Yes,
as well.
That is not it.
Yeah.
So the next one that got added to 4.1 is the Vault weapons. Well, we also have the space combat missions, but I do imagine
and the armor
that these are also in relation. Yeah, I imagine these are both in relation to what this event is. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, the Vault weapons. Yep. So I do believe these are the two that we saw during that late year ISE last year. Cool.
I don't know if we saw the pistol.
I think we did. I don't know if we saw it shoot, but I distinctly remember them like an animation of someone like moving a pistol around.
What I found weird here is I think Niku posted made a post or Chris, I can't remember, of there were 4 Volt weapons and they described them in great detail, but then only 2 of them are making it into this. So we're not getting all of them. It doesn't look like, at least for now. But again, there's more roadmaps to come before 4.1 comes out, most likely as well. Yeah. And then obviously we talked about the mining stations and stuff. So we'll see. But I don't know. Out of all this, you most intrigued or excited by the mission giver, the storyline, or some of the places and weapons and things?
Yeah, like, of course, I'm excited for the Vault weapons to come in. We thought that they would arrive with 4.0. Instead, during .0.1, we got the Ripper, which is still cool. I was excited we got that. So more variations on weapons as we start to get into these bigger servers with more people is much appreciated. But
yeah,
I'm a sucker for story. So first off, new mission giver, like within the 5 years maybe.
Yeah,
Tachio was introduced. Means it is completely different devs working on that. Most likely, it is probably going to be a new standard for like that kind of lore mission, I guess. So it's more of a like, I'm excited to see what CIG think it should look like.
Yeah.
With the way that the game is.
Yeah, and hopefully it's all right. We're gonna, instead of taking mission givers that are stuck in the old mission system and busted and broken, build one from scratch, like you said, new standard, and then we can go back and refresh those from the ground up, right?
Yeah. Plus, like even the old mission givers, they are cool, but they only have like a few lines each, and if you're doing something like the Vaughn missions, it's extremely repetitive. Like you just come back and he's like, oh, hello again. Check your comms. I just sent you another mission. It's like, okay, cool. Well, if you're gonna say that 18 times before I finish the quest chain, that's kind of boring.
Exactly. So hopefully their standard steps up and we again, it's all about they crafted this incredible, worlds, universe, whatever you want to say, and it's now just, I think players' feelings and certainly mine are, I want it to start feeling more alive. I want more players in it, not necessarily NPCs, but the but like just the alive feeling from that standpoint, but also what I'm doing is impacting the game world, and the NPCs aren't just floating around existing, right? that we're interacting with them more than just blowing them up or hearing them talk at a CZ or whatever. So
exactly, yeah. With that being said, I'd like to go back to maybe a topic we were talking about last week.
Sure.
Well, not last week, sorry, 2 weeks ago, where we were talking about the narrative of the game, and we were waiting for this patch to come out. I do feel like just with the additions of the loading screen, as well as like an extremely descriptive journal entry, although it's still like people never look at their journals. Though now I am looking at my journals all the time now.
Still don't.
Exactly. So there's still problems with it.
Yeah.
I am feeling a little bit more. Yeah, exactly. I'm feeling more ingrained with the story that has been happening. So the steps they've taken so far, I think, have worked. The loading screen thing was great. I do have one question, which is I really, really want the article in the top right about the people that crashed. I want that to be an Easter egg of some kind. And like someone has to go find that lake to find the crash or whatever. That'd be cool.
Maybe it is.
And if it's not already, maybe it is. it like reminding you every time you log in, like, hey, there's a thing happening right now is great. So continue doing that. Do a little bit more on things like the journal. The journal entry itself, like I said, is awesome. And if you haven't read it, do it. It's great for like getting that story information in. But yeah, no one ever checks their journal. There's just no reason to. It's not obvious. So
Frosty in chat, which I think he's in the caller waiting, says there's a new lake on Microtech.
Interesting. But if someone already knows there's a new lake, then clearly it wasn't an Easter egg. There's no massive crash site in there, but
maybe it's under the water somewhere, waiting for us to for them to sell a submarine ship.
Yep.
But yeah, I think that's all for the week from me, and I'm ready to go to callers if you are. But the last thing before we do, they've absolutely hinted that the decisions that we're making on who we do the missions for are going to affect the Pyro system or something. We have two choices. We have CFP, who want to basically make Pyro a PvE server, to touch on last week's topic for fun.
But still disconnected from the UEE. They're very much, they're still very much anti-alien.
And then the Headhunters wants it to bring back, what was the Arena Commander where it was all ships, everyone against each other. Like, what was the name of it? Yeah, it basically make it free for all. It had a different name. It wasn't free for all. I can't remember the name of it.
They do in the event page on the website. They're very much like
Battle Royale.
Look, guys, I know we want to kill everyone, but we need to defend Pyro so that we can. So everyone,
So they essentially want Pyro to be a Fortnite. So your choice of who you choose to side with, and that might actually define the Pyro system in the future. You never know. Who do you go with? Because I am a CFP leaning type person as far as the gameplay I like, but Pyro needs to be what Pyro was supposed to be. So if I'm going to gain rep, if I'm going to do a mission for somebody, it's going to be the Headhunters, because I do think that Pyro should be this lawless system.
See, Mike, you're not thinking of this ethically. You want to side with the team that kills the most pirates. And the Headhunters kill everyone. Therefore, they've done the most good in Pyro.
True.
I'm a Headhunter stan. I also just like, so the whole lore, a bit more of the lore about the CFP is like the CFP and Xenothreat are like constantly at each other's throats.
Yep.
Because they're both like, we hate aliens, but we're going to kill everyone because of it. And CFP are like, that's drastic. And so I just don't like that conflict at all. And would much rather have the Headhunters just be like, ha, 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 bang, bang, bang.
Yeah. So I don't know. You would think that I would go CFP, but I just think there would be more money to be made if the system was lawless.
Yeah.
More risk equals more reward.
Sound like a regular Constantine Hurston.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah. So I was just going to bring in a real life scenario that is probably not worth bringing in. So I won't mention that. But that's where I want to stop it before we go to callers, because you're actually possibly making a legitimate choice. I just don't like that we don't really know what's happening, and then we might get Frontier Fightered again, and it'll be people will get mad that they chose the wrong side because it's not what they wanted, and blah 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 blah.
I was saying before today, I was like, because some people were really mad at the whole Frontier Fighter thing that I thought was awesome. Yeah. This whole thing of like, they used the trump card too early. Like, they used their like random surprise way too early in this storyline. Because now you can't do it again, because we're all expecting a traitor at every corner now. However, if somehow they manage to dupe us again, I'm insanely impressed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see. Again, please know Idris as we continue this story, and I'll be happy. Imagine Idris fight with 500 people.
Yeah.
Don't want to.
Yeah, it'd be insane. It'd be really bad and not work. There's no shot it would work.
Don't want to. But with that said, ready to go callers?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, we'll bring in our first caller, PC 101. What's up, PC?
And before PC, shut up. If you guys want to call in, we have a bunch of open spaces in the waiting room right now. !podcast in the Twitch chat. If you're on the YouTube chat, it is linked at the top. Hop into the green room. We'll pull you down and talk about the stuff from today. All right, PC, you may talk now. How you doing?
Oh, hi.
Howdy, howdy.
So, where'd it start? So it started. I lost track of mine because you told me to shut up.
Yeah, sorry.
Where was it? Yeah, so it dropped on Friday night. My first reaction was to immediately make a B run straight for the depots because watching ISC, it looked like it was going to be similar to Jumptown, and I really loved the aspect of Jumptown of sneaking into people's ships and stealing their ships kind of thing. I went to the one in Bloom. If you don't know what that one is, it's the one at 3 minutes on ISC. You can see it's on top of a mountain. I spent like 5 hours there. About 5 ships turned up. 3 of them being fighters. And even when watching ISC, my first reaction to is where are people going to land? There's only like enough space up there for maybe an MSR. So it was
very tight.
Yeah. So like a Hercules did come in and he tried to land on the top. He was trying to get an angle so his elevator was at his ramp was at the elevator, and the game deleted his ship. He turned purple, so he just immediately fell out his ship. That was kind of funny. So that was a bit disappointing. So Saturday morning came around. I thought I went off to work. Was told you're on holiday. I went, oh, okay. Came back home. Immediately melted a ship because I thought I'm going to spend the day in a mall and mine tin and ice. Not realizing it's Saturday and the org actually does stuff. So I was lucky enough to actually play with the org, and we did that whole piracy thing that you probably saw on Mike's stream yesterday. That's kind of scary. The fact that how easy it was for Hannah to shut ships down, like solo in a Mantis, she can take out I mean, that's their fault for not being multi-crew and having turret gunners.
She's also a fantastic pilot.
Yeah, she's insane.
Keep that in mind.
So obviously, I have now completed the whole Pyro thing because we all just shared it. After that, I went off back to this location because I thought I'll give it another go. It's prime time Saturday. People were not at work, and it was the same thing. There was hardly any ships. Like there was 2 ships came in and got cargo, but they hovered above the outpost. The guy jumped out and he tractor beam stuff into the sky while his friend was still on the ship. So I wasn't able to actually board the ships.
And then why didn't you do? This is what I was thinking of doing. Top left, there's like a little sniper tower. I was thinking of going in there, and as they were bringing up the freight elevator cargo, blowing it up.
Yeah, could have done it. I was trying to hopefully run up to the elevator and send it down before they could load in their ship, but there just was nobody arrived. I did eventually get onto a single crew. Polaris came in on this side of the camera. He parked with his ramp just at the top there, and I managed to run on. But unfortunately, I got the teleport bug. As soon as the QT'd up to the station, it repositioned me into the station, so that was disappointing.
Yeah, so if you aren't familiar with this can't possibly be intended. If you are trespassing in someone's ship right now and they go into an armistice zone, it teleports you out of the ship. You can't board people's ships right now, basically. So yeah, it's a goofy one. But
so like that was that.
I like what happens.
That location was disappointing.
Yeah, for sure.
I did go to the other one and
like you showed it. Like you said in the it's okay. You said in the ISC, like this was the part that they highlighted the most was the Detatrine stuff. Like this is what they spent the most time on. This is what they were most invested in, and this is what we did the least of. So I hope that they understand why, take lessons from it, and utilize this for the future, because it's not a bad idea. It just there were better options, that's all there was.
There was something Phil said yesterday. Now that it kind of makes sense why they've added so many activities, that they didn't want huge amount of ships going to one location performance wise.
Yeah, quality of life would just go down incredibly.
So I understand why they've done lots of locations, but I think if they just removed the cargo stuff, this event could have worked. Just have the salvaging, the mining, and that outpost, and not have the hauling the other commodities.
I think the problem with that is if you don't own a salvager or a miner, I know you can rent them in the game. It does get a little iffy of how do you complete it then, right? You
don't necessarily own a cargo ship.
No, yeah, you don't either. But the more options, the better.
Yeah,
I guess. So I don't
and
know.
I don't know how CIG, like, I think this whole cargo thing probably came up in the PTU and nobody told CIG because it was so easy to make money. So when you do something like that in the PTU, how in the future is CIG going to do something like that and actually be able to realize this before an event goes live? Because nobody
played the
nobody
PTU.
played it.
I mean, that was the biggest problem is how are you going to get people to play the PTU? Because I'm curious what's going to like what's happening now is at Magnus Jumpgate, the queues are 800 seconds long or more.
Yeah, I went there this morning. There was loads of people there.
Yeah.
What I fully expect is that they did know that this was a thing, but they didn't necessarily understand the scope of the Star Citizen player, that they would go through just like terrible queues and just literally just wait and buy over and over again.
I had to yell at a viewer today, and I was like, how do I be nice to him? Because he was like, this is ridiculous.
Right.
This is ridiculous. I can't do this event other than sitting there and waiting for a server tick to get cargo. And I was like,
no,
I
was here when they said what they specifically said was that they were really mad that they couldn't do the event because everyone is hogging the terminals.
Yeah.
I went there,
which
because
you can do the event. You go and do mining, or you go and do salvage, or you go and do the Detatrine.
So I calm down. I'm older now. You know, I'm a year older, so I've grown up. And I calmed down.
Finally,
I was like, all right,
Jesus.
how do I not yell at this guy? And he was like, it's okay, you can yell at me. And I was like, good. You can do this any way you want to. I go, what chips do you have? And he goes, almost all of them. And I was like, oh my God. Well, okay then. Do you like using mining chips? Do you like using salvage chips? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, well, okay. You could do all these things and you won't have to sit there and wait in line. People just want the least amount of friction to do anything in this game. And it's CIG underestimated how cooked this community is. They conga lined for a Vandal mask. They conga lined for Maze at Jumptown. They will conga line for anything. It's insane.
Yeah. I think if you have something that's relatively easy and safe compared to something like the depot where you have to get your armor, you have to risk going down there, you got to risk your armor, you got to risk losing your ship, you got to put the money up front, you're obviously going to go with the easy one that just has you set on Netflix while you're in QT.
Yep.
Exactly. But that's pretty much it. I think if we moved if the cargo stuff wasn't there, this event would have been a lot more successful.
Yep.
Because people wouldn't all be doing it.
I think the cargo stuff needed to be there.
It doesn't have to not be there. Go ahead, Croncy.
I was just going to say, I do think the cargo stuff needs to be there because I want everyone to be able to do it. I think it needs to be. It's literally just a balancing issue with the rest of the mission. That's all it is.
Lore. It could be lore. It could be, hey, we bought up everything in Stanton already. We bought up everything that's available. And not everything, but supplies are low. We need you to go out and get those supplies for us, and we're going to pay you a pretty penny for it. And bam. So supplies at Magnus Gateway are 50, 60, 70% lower than normal. Every outpost, you just obviously I'm saying you jest, but it probably isn't that easy. But I wonder if they can just put a modifier on everything out there, and it's like everything is 70% less available than before, more expensive. That's something other people said. Obviously, we don't have a dynamic economy, but at Magnus Gateway, if all this stuff is bought constantly, well, the prices should go up and be insane to the point where it's not worth doing. Done. Right? So there's options here, and I wonder if they can. We saw that they posted a hotfix channel instantly. What if you can hotfix the back-end simulation and go, there's less supply and it's way more expensive for this stuff at these locations. Go to the outposts where it doesn't break the economy or the game or the whatever, because they'll always be out, or go get it in the game, right? And they could kind of resolve this stuff. But
it also, like the example that you just used of like, if people are doing so much of this, raise the prices or drastically drop the supply or whatever, like cause a bit of a bottleneck there. You currently have some systems in place for players who are doing the mining or are physically doing the salvage to then make a little bit extra off that if necessary, right? So there's no great system in place for us to trade, but the ability to me go to someone and like, hey, I have 200, like, hey, Corundum's been out of stock for a full day.
Yep.
I got 200 SCU of it, but you're going to pay me a premium because it's been out of stock.
Yeah.
That exists. It's just a little bit convoluted. But imagine if you could do that. That would be, or if you did that more often, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I've never understood why there's a cap on selling stuff. It's like if they have so much inventory, the price should go down. I don't think there should ever be a cap on selling. It's just keep going down until the point where you're going, yeah, I'm not going to sell that to you at that price, and you go somewhere else. But anyway, that's me. I just wanted to leave one thing. I have tractor beamed more boxes yesterday in 5 hours than I probably hit in the last year. I can't stand tractor beaming. It's scroll, pivot, scroll. I hate moving boxes.
My finger is sore. Look, do you see? Look at that. Is me straightening out my finger. I can't anymore. That's literally from this game. I'm not even kidding.
You need to get yourself a G600 or whatever. You just do the
the
one flick.
Yeah, I have that.
Oh.
All right, guys.
Well, then I don't know, Mark. I don't know what to tell you. I think you're using it wrong.
It's still stupid, but maybe that's from before I had this. I've been mining for a really long time and moving boxes. So, yeah. All right, but
there you go. Compressed can of air just on the mouse wheel.
Yeah. All right, PC. Thanks for your call, man. I appreciate it, and good luck finding some Detatrine haulers.
Yeah, have a good one, man.
All right, our next caller is Frosty. Frosty, what's up?
Hello.
Frosty. Howdy.
Right then, so supply or die. I basically got all the rewards within 4 hours.
Yep.
Doing it. Yeah, it was all right. I mean, I don't really do, cargo hauling and all that stuff. Probably the most I've ever done since starting to play Star Citizen. So yeah, it's whatever. The complaints with all the commodities and all that, it's like you got multiple ways to do it. It's just figuring out what's best for you, really. You can do it solo. It's just your options are limited in that aspects. But obviously we did pirating and all that yesterday. There was a very funny moment with me, PC, and Zeus while we was doing a C2 haul. We pirated another C2, transferred all the cargo. The guy who was in the other C2 basically backspaced. And as soon as we got to Pyro Gateway, he was waiting for us in a Polaris there. He tried to ram us, shoot me, etc. And he tried to ram us as soon as we got into PC's hangar as well. So pretty funny. Over 300,000 of worth of cargo. So,
There was also like huge battles that appeared as well, because like Hannah was pulling people out of Quantum, and she was pulling orgs out of Quantum, and those orgs started to fight each other, and then us, and it was like this just bullets flying everywhere. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's an interesting. That's a fun interaction that weirdly probably won't exist once we get the org tags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you just see you get pulled out and you just see a bunch of combat ships. I'm just gonna assume they're the ones that pulled me out. Get them.
Yep. And there was a Polaris versus Polaris fight that just organically just happened because she pulled them out. It was sick. Yeah. It was absolutely sick. It was so
that's
funny.
the thing. That's why I don't necessarily hate that this has happened with the Magnus jump point.
Mm-hmm.
Trade route.
Yeah, I just think the kind of thought about it the wrong way, because I think they thought that the Detatrine part was going to be, the PvP stuff, but insteid, it's happened more so in Stanton than it does in Pyro. So, I think obviously it's a lesson that they can learn if they, take it on board and don't, If an event like this happens again in the future, then they can obviously change their ways in what they do. But
once again, and this is the argument for a CSM, for people who don't know what a CSM is. This is where you lay out your plans to a bunch of people who understand Star Citizen and play it every day. That doesn't mean content creators. In case people don't know what a CSM is, it's every year Eve has, I don't know how many people they run, but it's like you run as a candidate for this group of players that speak directly and are under NDA with the Eve developers, and they will tell you their plans for the next year, and as well as deal with issues in the game currently. Big mining issues in the game currently. They've been working towards that with the CSM for a while, and then they just came out with an announcement of how they're going to fix it. People seem to be really happy. That's due to working with the CSM. I love the idea of 10 or so Star Citizen players, not content creators, to be clear. Star Citizen players. I don't want to make it seem self-serving because it's not. Like org leaders, people who have lots of hours in the game, understand the game forward and back. People who run like Urkel, things like that, like third-party programs, stuff like that, right? To come there and talk about what the community sentiment is and what's important. Imagine laying out supply or die to 10 players and us going, that's dumb. That's going to be a problem. I'm gonna abuse this instantly. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. And then them go, oh, okay. So before we started any work at all, we know that these will be problems, and then that would be fixed. So
it's basically focus groups.
Exactly. Focus groups of actual Star Citizen players would be smart. CSM is not necessarily a focus group, but for things like this,
I understand what you're getting. But it's you got a month to do it, so there's no rush to complete this event. Now, but so another thing I want to go on to is the part of the roadmap update is the Hathor group stuff. I believe that's going to be the story because, or at least part of it. This is in April. Basically, they said the first one is coming in April, and around, if they want to keep up with their, the monthly patches, you would think 4.1 would come around end of March, April time. So that's what I'm guessing.
Yeah.
But
at the very least, you would assume that we would get like another big bug fixing patch this month, and then start looking towards another big content patch.
Yeah, but with the Hathor group, obviously they don't exist anymore. There was dissolved in law, so obviously the alignment stations and the mining stations aren't going to be controlled by Hathor. They're definitely going to be controlled by AI. Anyway, but I think this is going to be like. I think it's going to be catered more towards group and org play, I believe, because obviously there's going to be multiple alignment stations, and you're going to have one single mining station. So obviously you're going to have, let's just say this is going to how it goes. You're going to have an org that comes in, let's say 30k org. You're going to have to control all the alignment outposts. You're going to have to align the satellites towards the mining station. The mining station activates. Beam comes down, you mine stuff, you got to collect it, blah blah blah, or tie it into whatever story they're planning on what they want to do, basically. But obviously that leaves out solo people, but then obviously you got the mission giver that's there. That could be it could be towards the Valakar, it could be
I'd love that idea.
Basic.
The Valakar basic. Croncy
I just want to see it. I just want to come on. Clearly.
I do agree. The social activity is basically outlines it in the description and what they said it, what Zach said at Sitcon. So but I believe the Hathor group stuff is going to be the storyline, and it's going to be more catered towards group and org play, really.
Yeah, cool. That's what I want.
But another tinfoil hat, like I said in the chat earlier, with the the loading screen with the thing in the corner. That new lake came in at the same time as the new loading screen, so that place
interesting.
Is definitely the same place from that photo. But
so people can go and explore.
It's 50 kilometers west of Dunbar and Microtech.
Okay,
cool. Or 270 degrees.
All right,
from the outpost. But I will warn you, when I went there, I landed, got out my ship, and immediately died. So it might not be done, or it might just be like a...
That's the thing.
A good thing.
When you go there, you die.
Whoa.
The law.
I just immediately died. nothing. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I do suggest just looking at it from your ship, in orbit, or
Yeah.
far from the ground, really. But yeah, that's
Interesting.
all I've really got.
Okay. All right, Frosty.
Yeah,
Well,
sweet.
yeah,
That
man.
was good. We appreciate the call a bunch. And
Very interesting.
yeah, I'm gonna have to go to that lake this
Yeah, we
week
got some
and see what
exploring to
happens.
do. All right.
Yeah.
Catch you later, Frosty.
Yeah, so
Have a good one.
Bye now. All right, and our final caller for now, in case somebody pops in, we'll definitely bring you in. So callers are still open. Is PepicWalrus? What's up, dude?
How you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Fantastic.
Good.
I'm just here to spread the good word about the Headhunters. You know,
Okay.
Yeah.
look at those savages in Stanton fighting while we just want to collect our exploding fruit juice.
Mm-hmm,
Yep.
mm-hmm.
If you look at Fight for Pyro, the initial post about the Headhunters, it specifically says we're not the ones that got Stanton involved. They just want to make drugs and do drugs, which is legal in Pyro. They just want to harvest organs, which is also legal in Pyro.
Look, I am a pro Headhunters fan, but just because there's no laws does not technically make it legal. It's very misleading.
And you're being selfish. You're going to regrow new kidneys, so give them over. But
that's a good line. That's a good line.
Yeah. I haven't gotten to do Supplier Die yet. Was going to do it last night, but the org didn't quite get together as it planned out. But I'm definitely going to be doing I was planning to do the Detatrine stuff to get into some fights, but it doesn't sound like that's where the fighting is.
Nah, man.
Yeah.
Get a
Like
mantis.
at the moment, it seems like you get to do a little bit of, the PvE FPS that happens there, and then you're free. Like, just do whatever, right? So honestly, maybe just swap a route. Maybe the Pyro stuff is the PvE stuff.
Yeah.
And you need to do all your PvP over at Magnus.
Maybe Stanton's always been the PvP. I mean, more PvP has happened in Stanton if you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean, over the years, of course, but I think it's quickly catching up in Pyro.
Yeah. A lot less kill on site in Stanton.
Yeah.
I'm seeing, in terms of like the terminal hogs, I found it funny. Some people didn't in the replies, but on Reddit, there's a funny video of somebody taking one of the push trolleys and just ramming it through the people just sitting in front of the terminals so they can get access to one. So there were some unhappy people in
real trade PvP.
Yo, that is so funny. Oh my god.
Some people were not happy. Some people were not happy with that post.
I
but
don't care.
I found it funny.
I don't care. Yeah, that's actually funny because you must know that you're undermining the event.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect anybody or anything, but you're just being a goofball, and you're trying to do it as easy as possible. So you can't really feel bad for that person.
No. The roadmap. There were some people in my org were like, "This is gonna be it. There's gonna be some good stuff," and I'm like, "Just prepare for disappointment." And it was not as much as you'd maybe see, but it was reasonable expectation.
I thought it was awesome for I've been talking about this thing's gonna be worthless because there's no features tied to any patch anymore, and they managed to at least keep it. They at least managed to I have something to look forward to or something to focus on, which was always what was nice about the roadmap. Yeah.
Well, I think it fits the theme of we're not going to do features, but it seems more like we're going to do content, which it seems like all that stuff is content. Which you could say there's feature work in there because it's definitely the Valakar.
It's not going to be the Valakar, and we're going to be so sad. But even if it's not,
small.
Yeah, I am still excited because even the story stuff that we got in 4.02 was cool and interesting to me at least, and got me to play the game. All I expect from 4.1 is a little bit thicker than that, like similar sort of stuff that makes me want to play. That will be just a little bit more not detailed, in depth, I guess, but deep. Yeah.
And I think it's safe to say the 4.1 event will probably be related to the Valakar, like an introduction, if it is the Valakar.
Yeah.
An awakening. You can call it Dune Awakening or something, although that might be taken.
It could also be. It's worth noting. Now that we're in March, I believe. What is it? Invictus is in April, right? So we are getting close.
Invictus is May, I think.
Okay, if it's May, maybe not. I was going to say like maybe it could be sort of leading towards that. There's a lot of talk about the Perseus possibly coming out in Invictus, but if it's May, then less likely, I guess.
Yeah, it's May.
Yeah, May. Okay.
I know the Hathor. I know they said at CitizenCon there's going to be a unique way to like trigger the Valakar. Maybe the Hathor stations are tied into it because it's got a big ass mining laser where you got to go up, trigger the laser to hit the planet, and that awakens the Apex Valakar.
Yeah, there could be some cool things they do with it. I'd like to see it. It looked very far ahead, even the small ones, when Zach was talking about it during CitizenCon. So I was assuming it would be here in the first 6 months of this year, and I'm still sort of like thinking that. So, that's where I'm at with that. But it is certainly either Valakar or connected to the current story, or both somehow. So we'll have to wait and see for that one. But I also imagine we'll see PTU for that pretty soon, right? 4.02 PTU is done now that it's live. Evo should be soon-ish.
It depends. So. Like, we know we're not getting a patch every single month, so it's I wonder if they're gonna like sit on this one for a little while or not.
We should be getting events every month at least. So,
well, that would require a patch potentially, right? So it's like they said 9 or 10. So they're probably gonna take off in October for CitizenCon. So that's one off, but then you just don't know where the next one off will be. But it's probably more likely going to be not for the. It'll be at a time that's not during Invictus, i.e., because those are definitely going to have patches with them, right? So, So I don't know.
Because there's also the B plot that'll be starting up in April,
which sounds like it's Hathor.
Yeah.
So
all related to bringing Jax McCleary home.
Yo, anyone else get pissed off? Because I still have the video playing in the background. Anyone else get pissed off that the mining bags were like being put on cargo grids and shit in the videos?
Oh my god!
They play a different version. They play a different version of the game. They don't play the version we play.
They're playing a different game. It's ridiculous.
Oh no, we're misunderstanding, Mike. They've reclaimed those bags from someone else, and they're gonna go put them on their own prospect.
Yeah, of course. Drives me nuts. I literally watched a bag snap to a grid in one of the videos and was like, "Are you serious? So you have it, but we don't? Okay." Yeah, marketing build that's perfect. Yep.
And if the cinematics team, because they said last year, if the cinematics team, if they got time to make these cinematic trailers for all the events this year, they have time for making new Jax videos. They said they were busy with Squadron last year, the last couple of years.
I don't know if it's the exact same team that works on stuff like the Jax videos, but regardless, give me more. I don't care. Like I don't necessarily agree with your reasoning, but I agree with your endpoint.
Yeah. For sure.
Just to touch upon the slicer reveal that was touched upon at the beginning of the podcast. They should have waited for like the next event that we're going to get to reveal that. They should have done the slicers for Save Stanton, the reveal the Frontier Fighters for Fight for Pyro. Let us also help the Freedom Fighters for this event, and then at the end of whatever the next one, do reveal, make the twist there. Yeah. And then it's like you get to know them, you get to fight for them, and then they get to betray you.
I mean, that's a fair call, but like we don't know what the narrative we don't. The way that you write a narrative is not, half baked and then you see what it's like and then you go on, right? They'll have an overarching story that they're going for. Yeah. So like that might make sense for how the story has developed right now, but that might not, when the next thing happens.
Yeah, that is fair.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anything else?
Not really.
Okay.
If anybody else wants to get in.
Frosty wants to jump back in. He said he missed one little thing, so he's just one quick point he wants to make. So we'll bring him in, and then we'll probably call it, I guess. So Pepic, thank you. I appreciate it. and look forward to your call. Look forward to your call next week. Pepic has become very much a regular, and we appreciate it. So thank you, dude. Talk to you. Bye now. All right, let's bring Frosty back in.
Frosty Redux.
Yeah, what's up, Frosty?
Hello. Yeah, sorry I missed this point out. But on the Hathor group stuff, it definitely looks like it's based on Daymar. Looking at the colorized pictures.
Yep.
Looks sandy. Definitely looks like.
Interesting.
Yeah, and also there's a little thing that I heard. I think it was in the PTU, could be on 401, but there was a voice line. I don't know whether it's just a generic thing, but it said there's a rumor that Crusader is selling its planet, etc. I don't know whether that fits into anything, but I just wanted to mention it just in case.
Yeah, when you walk around the stations and the NPCs talk to each other, that's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, but I don't know whether it's just a generic thing or it relates to anything or anything to come. I just wanted to mention it.
Everything I've heard from the narrative team, or like, I don't think it'll be a generic thing. You know what I mean? I don't think they were just like writing a random piece of.
You don't think they would put a little Easter egg in there of what's coming?
I think they would. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, given the opposite.
Yeah, I'm saying I do think that it is deliberate.
But given it's this possible event is taking place on Daymar, which is part of the Crusader system, it could be, could it be a coincidence? Maybe, but I just wanted to mention it.
Yeah.
Because it does kind of fit into, it could be a Crusader centric storyline. You never know. So I just wanted to mention it.
And let's be honest, Daymar, best place in Stanton, right? It's my favorite place.
Sure.
I love it. I love Daymar.
I like Magda. Magda's kind of dope. Magda's got a really, really cool atmosphere, which is what I love.
Yeah. Daymar is just the most immersive for me. I don't know why.
Fair. To touch on the story element just a little bit. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I believe there was like a small bit of lore somewhere that it's possible the Frontier fighters were getting paid by Hurston. I don't remember where I heard that. I don't remember if it was true.
Pub or something said something about that.
Yeah, possibly. And if that's the case, well, then we may be that like the lore may build to some big, super company v super company type thing.
Oh, that's what it is. CFP has ties to Hurston. It's not.
Oh, CFP. Yeah. Then whoever I was arguing about them not liking aliens, they have ties to Hurston. That's worse.
But yeah, that's all I gotta say. Just wanted to, include it.
Cool.
Just in case.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. So
all right,
thank
Frosty, we'll let you go. Bye bye.
See ya.
Catch you, mate.
All right, we actually had a late arrival. I think a first time caller is Reroute. Reroute, you there? We got you muted right now.
So you just have to unmute yourself, and then we can chat.
He just wanted to see what it was like to sit in the waiting room, I guess. Reroute going once. Reroute going twice.
Oh. You there?
Hey, there we are.
Oh, no.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but you're not wearing headphones, are you?
I'm not. Do you hear me double, yeah?
I can kind of hear you.
Yeah, I'm struggling to understand.
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, but your mic is horrible.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a shit mic. Sorry, yeah.
I cannot understand a word you're saying. I'm so sorry, mate. We might have to bring you out another time.
Yeah, we might have to bring you out another time. I apologize. I really want to hear what you have to say. I hope you understand, but I can't. It's way too dank. I can't. Sorry, Reroute. Oh, damn, that sucks. That was way too dank. Oh my God. I think he was using a phone, but it was literally in his mouth, like this. That's what it sounded like. So yeah. Oh, I thought he was back. I was like, oh, did I come back in somehow? I don't know what just happened. All right, we do have one more caller that just popped in, so we'll pop them in, and this will be our last, no matter what. Xavier, are you there?
I think I am.
Oh my God!
Lovely.
My ears are healed.
Awesome.
What's up, Xavier?
First time caller, I guess.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome in.
I guess I'll mute the channel.
Please, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I've been out of town for a couple months, and I'm just now getting to play everything all at once now, and it's been.
How far back is it going? Do you start with Fight for Pyro now, right?
Yeah, like I
Okay.
left to go out of town like right as 4.0 went live, like
Okay.
literally the night before.
You
So
finished
I like
Stanton already?
Yeah, I got the Ardors and everything,
Cool,
and I've
cool.
done I've like followed the progression through all the phases, and I'm in the middle of Supply or Die right now,
Nice.
and it's like the contested zones and Executive Hangar were amazing. Like
Mhm.
that content, like I just went through it over the last couple weeks, and that sort of Tarkov style was
I got a
chef's
question.
kiss.
Were you
Yeah.
able to use a freight elevator
Like
in the contested zones.
in the contested
yeah,
zones?
right. Yeah, I'd say 1 out of 20.
Worked or
Yeah.
failed? Yeah.
Oof.
Okay.
Yeah, 1 out of 20 worked.
That's the thing that's keeping me out of them for right now. Is
Yeah.
like the moment I could, because I want to get some of those components.
Mhm.
But yeah, I haven't lost
new
CZ
edition.
components. I haven't lost CZ ships. I haven't lost CZ keys because I don't do it.
Yep.
But
but yeah,
I want to,
important to
though.
do now as well, because new edition from the new patch is you can find P8s there now as well. P8
Yeah,
ARs.
P8 ARs are in the little open containers or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've gotten really comfortable running the contestant zones. I'm
Oh, yeah.
normally like an FPS player coming from like
Mhm.
way back in Counter-Strike all the way through Apex Legends and
Nice.
stuff like that. So
Nice.
So the contested zones were super welcome to me because I normally would play Gun Rush as a time killer in between,
Yep.
like, you know,
Have we
for
ever
quick
played each
bursts
other?
of game. Possibly.
Yeah.
I'm pretty aggressive in there.
I try to play at least an hour a day.
Oh wow. So
Yeah.
probably. I mean, I use this same
Xavier
handle
played.
everywhere.
Mike died.
I'm
Yeah.
typically in the top 3, but it's like one guy's 20-5, one guy's 18-6, and I'm 15 and 15.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I can get up there, and then you'll there's some sweaties that definitely I know are training, you know, they do
Yeah.
aim practice or whatever. So
Yeah.
but no, I'm just like the FPS side of it super welcoming to me, and when they finally like optimized that and they started bringing it over to the verse into the PU, that was kind of a game changer, and seeing
Yep.
it in contested zones was awesome because it's also like as a loot goblin, you know, going for, and when the freight elevators work, that's
Mhm.
that's pretty sick. But I've got some notes here. Just kind of want to run through them.
Mhm.
For the contested zones, having mics in game like helps so much because like I normally don't do org gameplay because I'm kind of intermittent with MMOs, so
Oh.
I don't really commit ever. But just randomly in Pyro, I was able to like be at like, you know, checkmate or something, and someone just happened to be on their microphone, and I just grabbed my mic, and you know, next thing you know, I'm in a Discord, and you know, someone who was nearby was like, "Would you guys please shut up?" And then we're in their Discord now, and it's just like that organic sort of gameplay.
Yep.
It's hard to like enforce, and one thing I really got into a couple years ago was VR, and they're the mics are built into the headsets, and so playing like what was like Trouble in Terrorist Town TTT in
Yeah.
that one like gun sim game.
In Gbod. Yep.
Yeah, so it's like that was so much fun because you know everyone has a microphone, and you know there's a
Mhm.
lot of people that are timid with it, but you sit still like, hey, like this is the game, you know,
Mhm.
and having that enforced somehow, or like I don't even know if you could, like you can't really in this game, so hailing
You can't
people
force
in.
it, but you can incentivize it.
Here's
that's
what
idea, right?
the problem with Star. Yeah, exactly. Incentivizing it like Daisy, you know, mic or die basically, right? But the problem with Star Citizen is it wasn't a players wanting to use it problem. It was you would go to use it and nobody would respond because they can't there was always there was something broken with VoIP. It doesn't seem as broken anymore. Like, it saved my life. It saved my whole fight for Pyro, for CFP. Because when I was going to those outposts to try to turn in, I was getting sniped every time. And I would while I was down, they would come by me and start looting me. And I go, take whatever weapon you want off me. I'll give whatever money you need. Just let me finish this mission. Let me keep my tractor beam. And I finished 2 extra missions because of that, right? So mics were pretty sick.
Yeah, and like trying to find creative ways to communicate. Like, I had a person that was actually legitimately trying to pirate, and he's circle strafing me in his Mantis while we're both like frantically typing in chat. Like, he's like, "Give me $100,000," and I'm like, "I don't even have $100,000 worth of value on this ship," So it's. I don't know what the Daisy, Mike, or Die incentive is, but if there's like using things like spamming crouch or toggling your headlamp, just trying to be like, hey, friendly, like before, like it's you do what you can, and I just think mics would help a whole bunch in a game like this, where it's like few and far between, and friend or foe kind of like makes or break a lot of the interactions.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
And so I started Supply or Die recently,
all right.
And I saw at the beginning of the episode that Detatrine kind of like infographic about maybe it might be valuable in Stanton, because like I spent the last day wondering like, why is Detatrine not valuable at all compared to everything else?
Yeah. You know something we don't know?
I wish.
I
wish.
Yeah.
So seeing that infographic, like I said earlier in the show, like is something that you guys shared with me and kind of confirmed my suspicion, because
I feel like something's happening.
Yeah, there's no way it's not valuable anywhere else, because it's like
I mean, it
tin
definitely
and
is.
ice.
Look at the loading screen, right? It tells you that it's used for medical and it's used for drugs. So it is it's used, right?
But I thought that just kind of leaned into the like whether you're doing it for CFP or Headhunters kind of thing.
Yeah, but now it's like, well,
I think everyone in Pyro is
what
using
about
it for
the
drugs,
Nine Tails?
most likely.
What about the Nine Tails? What do they use it for? Or do I just ship it to hospitals? Right? There's only clinics in Pyro, but there's huge hospitals in Stanton. So there's options there, but I just don't know what they want to do with it and how it's going to work and all that stuff. But I just look forward to seeing things grow and more sandboxy stuff. Like, hey, I found Detatrine. I know where that goes. I know what people want to use that for, and go and do it. That's it.
Yeah, it just seems at the moment that it's kind of like a loose end. That and you mentioned a hotfix. It's just like it feels incomplete.
Exactly.
And I want to hoard it. I want to get it, and I've gone and I did like one loop of it, but I'm like, but why?
Exactly.
If it's like 26 million to get like ice and tin.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. So
I don't know.
Anything else you want to talk about?
I noted like how this game, as like compared to other, is more of a space sim, and I know like the kind of narrative about it being like the Richard Tire area of arcadeifying it, I guess. Is
I would say gamifying it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And so there's the return, I guess, or like some sort of return to operator modes as opposed to master modes. And I don't know exactly what's going to be happening there, but I feel like that's a welcome thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Sure. I mean, it's one of these things where like I'm not going to have fucking flight model discussions because it's impossible. We know nothing, very little. And it's one of those things where you could talk all day about it, but it comes down to, if we're not doing an experimental mode in Arena Commander, if we're not trying it in a PTU, it's they have written what seems like 1,000 posts, multiple videos. I'm tired. Do something. Do something.
Yeah.
Do something. And when they do, we can discuss it. We like this. We don't like this. I think this is going to happen. But then, like we're seeing with the current flight model, it took some time. People figured it out. And now we see the true positives and negatives of it. Okay. Keep going further. They sound like they want to keep going further. Yogi posted a big post. We got all these plans we're going to do, blah, 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 blah. Okay, do them. That's my end of discussion with that stuff. I'd rather not. Plus, it's not the topic at all for the podcast. So if you're not touching in on the stuff we're talking about, I would say,
let's like
leave it for when we see the
leave it for when we have that stuff, and we can have exactly. We can have a really fun discussion about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
man.
Fair enough.
All right. So Xavier, we'll let you go and we'll call it because it is. I think my parents are going to be showing up in a little bit. So that's why we did the podcast a little bit early. So apologize for all you guys. You would think the Australian would be the one that would force the podcast early, but no, it's me. So Xavier, we'll let you go, man. Thank you for your first call, and I look forward to future ones, especially when we get some flight model stuff, man. And keep enjoying those CZs. Let me know if you get any more good freight elevators.
Yeah, right.
I want to join that server. Catch you later.
Yeah.
Bye now. All right. So yeah, that was the show, I guess, for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It really comes down to, are you having fun? And that's it.
Yeah.
And I hope people are having fun with the event and finding their fun. They're giving you so many different options on the way to do it. And if you're going and you're sitting at a terminal and you're not having fun, that's kind of on you.
Yeah, true.
Right? It's kind of
have fun, you losers.
Exactly.
It's your own fault.
Go try to find some fun and stop complaining on Discords and Twitter and Reddit and everything, right? And if you don't find the things that you're doing fun, you're probably not going to find, like, if you're not finding the active mining fun or the active salvage fun or the active cargo hauling fun or the active going and PvPing or whatever for the stuff or pirating or whatever, you might not find Star Citizen fun. It's not one of those things where like you're like somebody's telling you you won't like the game because of what it's going to become. I don't see any of this stuff changing significantly ever. Right? Like these are kind of some of the core experiences. So
I imagine things around that it will change, which might change the context of the activities, but you'll still be doing the same thing.
I find all those experiences fun. What I don't find fun is the lack of purpose behind them. The event gives that purpose for me, and I want to go do them. Right? Yeah. So
100%.
Yeah, I see somebody in chat. Next week's ACC topic, are you having fun? No. This event is probably only going to be fun for a week, so everyone's going to be bored next week, and we're going to be like, I don't know what to talk about.
We are getting an SCL this week. I don't know if the topic was discussed.
It was.
But Jared did mention.
It was. There's a thread, a questions thread, and it is for the mission team about the ISC, and the top 3 or 4 posts are, why are you doing FOMO content, blah 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 blah. So it's a lot of negative stuff at the top, and I do hope they address it. And because again, Elliot coming on and going, if you weren't here you missed out, blah 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 blah. A lot of people have taken offense to those kind of comments, and I would love to see how they address them. I don't find it offensive. I think it's exactly what they should be doing and all that stuff. But I do understand where people come from of FOMO events in a game that you either can't log into in the last patch, couldn't leave an elevator for, and so on and so forth. So it's totally understandable. CIG did the right thing, extended Fight for Pyro. Funny story, Elliot did not do Fight for Pyro until 4.0.2 because he knew it was so broken. And he came in and said,
fair.
Over the weekend, I almost completed all of Fight for Pyro. Just one quick little weekend because the servers are better. So, how funny that may sound is that was the state of 4.0.1, and that's why they made the choices they made to take the time and fix this stuff. And now people are having better experiences. So I know Morph made a video and said, I'm not playing anymore Fight for Pyro because I just can't complete anything. They heard you and many others and did the right thing there. So props to CIG for that one. Again, when they do good stuff, you got to give them a thumbs up. And I think it's deserved there. Obviously, do it right the first time, but it's going to take a while to do that probably.
Some other quick things that are happening. Race season has started, so we've got a bunch of big races coming up in the community. We've got all the Crux Cup stuff happening over the next month. And we have the System 7 starting up very soon as well. So there'll be some of that to watch and see how that's going in the current stage of Pyro.
Have you seen Cleo Island?
Not recently, no.
All the rocks are gone. Not all of them. A lot of the. You say that? Go check it out. It's fun.
All right.
It's fun. I caught myself getting lost in it again. I was getting lost in it because we had a crazy bad server error that was actually force crashing everybody. If you jumped from Stanton to Pyro, you were screwed. And so we got stuck in that server. So what we did was we jumped to Arena Commander, played some Gun Rush, and I went into and did some Cleo Islands. And I was like, where are the rocks? This is so different. It's fun.
But it was good. All right.
Yeah,
All right.
it was a good feeling.
We'll check it out.
You're able to make some mistakes, but you're also just check it out.
It's not as punishing, but there's new things to
it feels
learn,
good.
I guess.
I don't know any other way to say it, but it feels really nice, and I kind of like don't want them to put the rocks back. Yeah.
Okay.
So, check it out. But yeah, that's all we got for this week. I imagine we will discuss whatever drama comes out of that SCL because I feel like there's going to be some. Other than that, maybe hopefully a PTU for 4.1, and then we're talking about this mission giver or whatever. And we'll see. Or we'll try to come up with a fun topic to discuss if nothing happens. That's fun.
If you guys have anything you want to talk about, let us know in the Discord.
Yeah, or a guest you want us to bring on. I feel like we should do more guests. I have a new scene for Answer the Call that's like 3 of us plus the video. So if there's something that they're doing that's cool or something that they've done or a topic we're discussing. So I'm ready for that. And we'll do that. So, all right, guys, that is the podcast for this week. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. And don't forget.
Answer
the call.
The call. Damn it. I was going to see how long I can postpone it.